Welcome to Lovin' the Love Boat, a fond and funny look back on the world's greatest cruise ship-based television show. I'm Istvan, singer, songwriter, and TV fanatic.
And I'm Michelle, pop culture enthusiast.
Join us as we relive episodes of one of the most watched TV series of all time.
Occasionally deviating to pop culture charts unknown.
So come aboard, we're expecting you for another edition of
Lovin' the Love Boat.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing much better, Michelle, because quite honestly, we're back on the high seas.
Yes.
In the way that I am familiar with, happy with, comfortable with. You feel the same way?
I do.
All right. Yeah, you guys, we're back after the Marathon Marooned episodes. And we're back like on a regular kind of an episode. Michelle, I always ask, this one, liked it, disliked it? What do you think?
I liked it. It
Yeah,
was pleasant.
That's the case. I agree with you. All right, well, let's get into this one. Let me give you the storylines of this. It's much more easy to manage. And hi, you guys. Welcome. We hope you guys have a planter's punch in your hand. We did leave the recipe for that. And, of course, you can deviate and choose anything you like, anything you have on hand.
Cheers.
Yes. All right. Our storylines today are Rocky, written by Ann Gibbs and Joel Kimmel. We have story number 2, Julie's Dilemma, written by Ben Jolson and Art Bear. And lastly, we have Who's Who, written by Bob Fraser and Rob Dames. Bob and Rob. And the names on this one, Michelle, were tough for me. Like I say, you guys, when I go through these, I do not refer to anything other than the episode itself. So I take the information from it. They don't even credit the person who is one of the main characters on here, the mom of this.
The whole episode, as pleasant as it was strange in that, there were not a lot of character detail and not a lot of character names given out.
Yeah, let's do this. Like one you told me.
First, you have Jimmy Baio.
Yes.
Also, they're the cousins of a guy named Chris Baio in Vampire Weekend.
You know, I didn't know that until recently.
I know.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah. Well, he's playing Norman or Normie.
Which is interesting because then Norman Fell is also one of these stars on the show. When
he plays Julie's dad.
Yes, Mr. McCoy, Bill McCoy. But we had Mrs. Roper the week before.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
On the two-parter.
That's right.
And a fun fact I'm going to dazzle everybody with about Norman Fell. When I was in high school, we were...
Oh, God.
Me and my friends were shopping at Water Tower Place.
Uh-huh.
And we saw him shopping there.
Wow.
Yes, it was exciting.
What store was he going to?
We were going to the Limited Express. It was the 80s.
Wow.
So we needed some fluorescent things. And apparently he was doing a play there in Water Tower Place. So he was staying there and kind of...
Oh, that's exciting.
Was shopping. It kind of was to a bunch of dorky teenage girls.
Well, yeah, because in Chicago, I guess if we were wandering around, we might see some people, but... You know, it's not like Los Angeles where you and I, we have so much fun when we go there and see people that only we recognize. Celebrity people is like the best. But
back then we all knew who he was, so.
That's a good story. I don't know if you're dazzling anyone with that story, but
I know, hey, jealous.
Maybe. All right. Who else do we have on the show?
James Coco.
Oh yeah, Coco's on here as Marion Atkins.
Yeah.
Who else?
You have Betty Garrett as Mrs. McCoy.
Yes.
You know her as Edna Babish.
Yeah.
On Laverne and Shirley.
Oh, R.I.P. Cindy Williams, too.
I know.
That's so sad. Oh, my God. I love that show so much.
She's young, too.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
It's a bummer, for
Non-stop bummers, you guys. That's why we're here. We're trying to make everything happy. We have to celebrate these people for the work that they've done. Let's go. Who else is on this cruise?
Melissa Gilbert.
Yeah, very cute. Melissa Gilbert. She's playing...
All girls my age, we love Melissa Gilbert.
Yeah, she's playing Rosemary, a.k.a. Rocky.
And that's like a character I could identify with.
Yes, hopefully you will share some of the similarities as we get into this.
We can.
We also have Dody Goodman.
We do, and she was in Grease, Blanche, the secretary.
She's a great character actress, man. She's exactly what I love in people. I don't know. She was awesome.
Crazy fact.
You saw her at Sears?
I saw her at Uno's Pizza. No, not. She was born in 1914.
What?
Yeah, and James Coco was born in 1930, so she was like 15 years older than him.
She looked good, man.
She looked great. Mrs. Garett. Betty Garrett was also, she was like born in 1919. They were like some really, I mean, they were younger then, but.
Both very pretty. Both,
Yeah.
yeah, very attractive. But we also have rocking like one of the best powder blue tuxedos of all time on this, plus some white shoes at a different time. Edward Winter, who plays Rod. And who is the woman? Oh, no, wait. Ellen Travolta is also on here.
Yeah, credited as Norman's mother.
Doesn't even get a name.
She doesn't even get a name in this episode.
And then there's a woman who's Holly.
Marla Adams.
Yeah, she does not even get credited as they roll out the stuff in the beginning of the show. It's
Very
really weird.
odd.
All right, so Michelle, on this one, we're back to a regular cruise.
Thank goodness.
And, Gopher seems to be back to his normal, lovable self. Mm-hmm. And Julie is very excited. Because why?
So her mom and dad are coming on the cruise.
And she is bugging the heck out of the other crew members.
What can I say, Gopher? I love this ship.
Me too. But if Julie asks me once more if her parents got here yet, I better jump over the side.
Go first. Do my parents get here yet?
Try not to make too big a splash.
Not yet, Julie.
Oh, will you keep your eye out for me, please? You can't miss them. My father's...
Distinguished, and your mom looks more like your sister?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm boring you guys.
Hey, no, we're kidding. They sound great. Two people who still hold hands after 30 years of marriage.
Now, you sure you know what they look like? Yeah, bye.
No, Michelle, you're obsessed again with ages. James Coco was how old again when he was
I
making
don't know
this?
how old he was, but he was born in 1930, and they had like a 15-year almost difference in age.
Okay, because you also just sent me, she loves to send things and show me what ages everybody was.
Probably
She
in
just,
his 40s.
Yeah, you just sent me the thing where Frank Sinatra, wasn't it? Or Don Rickles was on the Johnny Carson show.
Correct.
And they were both like 46.
47 or 46, and they looked like 76.
I think 60s really, but definitely not in their 40s. That one was mind-blowing. But I think James Coco kind of looks his age on this.
Yeah, I can believe he was in his 40s.
Well, he and his unwitting, at this point, the person he is going to be partnered up with, Dody, arrive on the ship.
Would you go on a cruise and book a room with a stranger?
Absolutely. I love to meet new people. I like
yeah.
to be as intimate as possible in a room with someone that I do not know. No, it would be to pay money to go on a cruise and then
You're trying to save money and everything. But again, I've never seen so many people go on cruises by themselves. I know I have friends that go on cruises regularly. Are there really that many single people? I know it's the Love Boat, so maybe it's a little exaggerated.
Well, the thing is, this is the thing. They do explain this one kind of. Let's meet Dody first, because Dody, she's dowdy.
I'm Patricia Self.
Holy cow!
Excuse me. I think you should know that the cow is sacred to the Hindus. A reference to cows in this context could be considered offensive to some people.
I didn't mean anything.
It's important that we be precise in what we say.
So, Miss Selden, you're sharing a cabin on Fiesta Deck. That's F-133.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so they establish really quickly that she is purportedly prim and proper prude.
Right, so her colleagues couldn't spring to get her own room?
I guess not. I mean, that's why ultimately we find out, right, that she's...
Censor?
Yeah. And they sent her on this cruise to, like, kind of expand her horizons. So that's a reason why. She's not just on there like, I'm going to go on a cruise by myself.
Right. She didn't even want to go on the cruise. They made her kind of go on the cruise.
Yeah. And then, shortly thereafter, we meet Marion.
Can I get somebody to take my luggage to my room?
Certainly. Just ask any steward.
Oh, steward.
Oh, sir, that's Captain Stew.
Oh, Captain, I'm glad we've met. Allow me to favor you with one of my pamphlets.
Oh, make life the business of living.
Makes you stop and think, doesn't it?
I'm sorry, but I don't have time to stop and think now. I have to sail the ship.
And he's just some sort of like...
I didn't understand his pamphlets.
They were like morality things or something. So I think that's what it was. He says that like he likes to go where there were the biggest challenges. So he's on this sort of like sexual cruise.
Yeah, because this pamphlet, I have it written down, is called Make Life the Business of Living.
I don't get that. The captain also kind of blew the whole thing off. He's just like,
not into
yeah,
that.
I don't have time for this.
Your pamphlets.
Michelle, I'd like to know the age difference between Rod and his wife, Holly, because to me, she seemed older than him.
Maybe.
She's very pretty, but she did seem older than Rod, and I don't know what their story was. Like I said, I didn't get any background information. But they have their daughter, Rosemary, a.k.a. Rocky, who's a bit of a, is it okay to say tomboy?
Yeah, for the time.
And she's not jazzed about being on this ship.
No, because she's missing her softball game.
Yeah, was it softball or just like regular baseball?
Or baseball, I don't know. I mean, we played softball when I was her age, so in fact, I kind of had that look when I was her age.
Your jersey shirt, like
I love wearing my baseball hat.
And
I did not skateboard as well as her, though.
What about your lightning bolt things that you had?
Oh yeah, I used to have a headband with satin lightning bolts on the side.
She basically was like Steve Martin mixed with Gallagher, like
mixed with Robin Williams.
Yeah.
I also had rainbow suspenders.
Oh my Lord!
I was a nerd TV.
Well, today,
kid.
ladies and gentlemen, she is definitely. I really appreciate you mixing drinks and wearing that diaphanous dress that you're wearing right now. She took the time to get dressed up.
Comfort rules.
Yes, but yeah, they come on board. And quickly after that, too, she bumps into almost Normie.
Move it or lose it! I'm sorry, you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine, but you're gonna kill yourself if you don't get a little front side control.
I'm sorry. Are you being a pain in the neck?
Oh, don't worry, he's just fine. Can you do a wheelie?
Not bad.
Thanks.
Hey. Wow, those two are really hitting it off. Normie's 13. How old is your son?
Our son is a daughter.
Can I just say, though, I found their whole, little, romance thing, I found it cute.
It was cute.
I think they were throwing, kids our age a little something on the episode.
Oh, maybe they got that info back, though, that, kids really like the Love Boat, too, and maybe they did that intentionally.
They had other, things. Wasn't Scott Baio? He was on, and then...
Yeah, he
was.
And
some of them were just kind of weird, but this one I just thought was just cute.
They both were great.
Mm-hmm.
Melissa Gilbert was awesome, and he was really good, too. And did you also like where, Melissa Gilbert, she was, really good, and she was shredding on skateboard?
Yeah, she did some really cool Tony Hawk type tricks.
I know. Who do you think they got, Tony Alba or something like that?
I was curious. One of those Dogtown guys had to have been doing those.
You know that because that's
Yeah.
those kids did get some extra TV work because wasn't he on a
Charlie's Angels?
Yeah, totally. that must have been the best for those guys back then. But yeah, she does a skateboard trick after he comes and almost runs her over, and she just shows that she's got skills. And that's how those two guys meet, it starts off to be cute, and I think that they handled that pretty good throughout the entire cruise.
Yeah, because I liked when they were then hanging out, and then they were playing Starsky and Hutch. I totally would have done that on the ship.
I smell danger, Starsky.
I read you, Hutch. If that bomb goes off, it can blow up half the city.
We have to defuse it.
Well, no sense both of us risking our lives. You wait here. I'll handle this.
Don't you play hero with me, Glenwood.
You know there are ghosts on this ship? Ghosts of dead sailors eaten by sharks.
Cut it out.
Ever see a sailor once a shark gets done with him? It's not a pretty sight. His head's bit in half. His arms are all mangled.
Cut it out.
And his guts are dripping out.
I'm the ghost of a mangled sailor, and you've had it. I'm going to take you and throw you to the sharks, and they're going to mangle you, and they're going to bite your head off.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. That's what I would have done, too. I mean, that's why I would have met you on a cruise. You would have had your
Could have been
suspenders
gold
on.
chain. I'm sure you were a gold chain when you were a kid.
I had that kid's hair. I mean, it's I'm the Italian
It was
kid.
kind of probably how you and I were as kids.
The one Italian kid living in El Paso. And it's
with that Brooklyn accent.
yeah, it's
I kept thinking, did they just say El Paso? And he talks like that, and his mother?
They threw him in El Paso.
Came from via Brooklyn.
You know what? I can say this because I'm Italian. Witness relocation program. That's why.
Well, and Alice, she moved from New York too, didn't she? To Arizona. So,
dude, we're all over the road. These Planners Punch are not helping at all. Now, the main thing, though, is Julie is psyched about her parents, and I can only hope that Evie is this excited when she's in her 20s to see us. You know what I mean? When we're on the precipice of divorce, that she's this excited to see both of us at her place of work, basically.
Oh, I have my parents?
They're just going out to check.
Mom! Daddy! Oh! Mom and Dad, this is Gopher and Doc.
Hi, how are you?
Julie is planning to make this the best vacation you two have ever had.
Miss McCoy, to the promenade deck, please.
Oh, if I ever get to see you. Well, I'm glad you're here. Bye.
We'll show you to your cabin.
All right, this way.
Julie says you've been married for 30 years. You sure don't look it.
But as you mentioned, they're there with a dark secret.
Again, this episode is really good because all of these actors, they took the scenarios that they were in really, I thought they did a great job. Like Norman Fell really was glum throughout this.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't clowning it up, which you might think he might be doing, and he didn't. And he was very somber, and I think he did a great job doing that. Both of them did, really, and I thought they were cast really well as her parents.
Thinking about Dody and James Coco, and why, again, obviously, would you pick a stranger to be a roommate with? But then the other thing that was bothering me is that they weren't running into each other at all. And, like, wouldn't you wait around to see who your roommate is?
No, I would not. No. Not at all. I wouldn't want to see my roommate even for 1 second.
I'd be curious to know, since you'd be sleeping right next to each other. Is it a serial killer? Is it a murderer? I mean...
If you have the worries that potentially your roommate could be a potential serial killer...
Maybe.
You might want to spring for a single cabin.
Well, exactly.
No.
I would never share a room, so I wouldn't have to worry about that.
What I would do is I would write a long formal letter to my...
Pacific Princess Stationery.
Exactly. That's what it's there for. So I would write a letter much like Dody did.
Dear cabin mate, since I arrived first, I took the liberty of assigning the top 2 drawers and the left side of the closet to myself. I generally bathe at 6 a.m. I hope this will not disturb you. Signed, your cabin mate. P.S. Thank you for not smoking. P.S. Or littering.
Was that the scene where she, like, after she writes a letter, she puts her visor on her wig?
No. Because, you know what, you are such a nerd. Hang on. Because also, as soon as she did that, that's a little bit later in the episode, I thought about the time when you went with one of your best friends to Las Vegas, and your big thing was you both brought visors.
It's true.
Yeah,
custom-made visors with their names on them.
Oh my God.
Once a dork, always a dork.
No, this is not when she put the visor on yet.
I kind of identified with that, like, minus the wig.
No, she straightened the current wig that she had on her head.
Not quite there yet.
Right, and she headed off to just kind of, check out the ship. And then...
Lo and behold.
Yep, shortly thereafter, after he hit the room, because these two are in the same room together, you guys. This is the wackiness.
Yeah, Gopher realizes that there's been a little bit
Not yet.
I thought he did.
No, not yet. First, he reads the letter. He likes the letter because it's very serious, very thoughtful. He's like, that's my kind of roommate, thinking full well that it's a man. And then he heads off too. And they just, out of 600 passengers on the ship, they just happen to bump into one another.
Well, he's handing out pamphlets.
Oh, that's true. He's hustling. Yeah, he's probably working pretty hard. But they do meet each other for the first time.
I think this booklet is just wonderful. Thank you for giving it to me.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Miss, I'm sorry, I don't know your name.
Miss Selden.
Miss Selden? I'm Mr. Atkins.
Oh, Mr. Atkins. You're the author.
Well...
I must say I'm a bit surprised finding a man of your calling on a cruise ship.
Well, I always like to go where the biggest challenge is. You know that last year on my vacation, I distributed 4 suitcases of these pamphlets in Las Vegas.
One cannot help but admire your commitment.
I was thrown out of 4 different gambling casinos.
A martyr. I like that in a man.
And I mean, this is like an instant connection, really. These
two.
It
really is.
Yeah, and so like they're hitting it off.
He's awakening things inside her she never knew she had.
It's true. I have to admit it. And then they decide to head up where? To our favorite place.
Pirates Cove.
Yes. To have a refreshing
lemonade. Well, they're clean.
And that is where we do find out that she's a TV censor, which I think is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It's kind of a fun, like, twist and why she's on the ship altogether. But yeah, these two are, like, hitting it off right from the beginning. They never have a moment of hesitation, really, except for their morality.
Correct.
Mr. Atkins, you amaze me. You always say the right thing.
Well, not when confronted with a member of the fairer sex, darn it. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say darn it.
You shouldn't have said.
You're absolutely right. Please accept my apology.
Oh, no need to apologize. Even the best of us can stumble.
True. Fortunately, there are people like you around to keep us from falling.
Michelle, did you notice on this that, like, and I never understood why, and maybe you have more of an understanding why, like, why sometimes they would film for real, you know what I mean? Like, they're on the deck of the ship, and, like, the kids are talking to each other, and they're getting along, and that's when those two are having their hair blown all over the place, because they're literally on the deck of a ship, and I wonder why, you know? Like, why would they do that? Why would they film?
I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, now that you're bringing this up, like anytime they had like teenagers on, they were always on the deck or in that ugly pool or.
Because it's got to be way harder to be filming like outside, you know?
Yeah.
With all that wind. Seriously, like wind is a nightmare to catch audio and all that stuff. And it's just like, why would you put yourself in that position, really? But as they are, remember he was also this dude, he was like Colonel Flagg on MASH. Do you remember that?
The dad?
Yeah, Rod.
Oh, maybe I do.
He was awesome as Colonel Flagg. Like, he was real tough. He was a super tough guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but he played it in such a clowny way. MASH was like, everybody watched MASH when we were growing up, and I definitely did. And it's like, he was Colonel Flagg.
He was also in Porky's.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I don't even want to go to the Porky's world.
No.
I don't like
It's like
Porky's.
not one I will watch again.
No way. Yeah, but they're on the deck of the ship, and then their sort of difficulty is revealed, which is that they are going to move. Is that why they brought her on the ship?
I think just to kind of like have a good time and then breaking the news to another daughter.
They're pretty nice parents, though, take you on a cruise just to tell you that we're moving.
Right.
That is traumatic. I mean, that is
It
a
is.
traumatic thing. Yeah, this was I like this episode, man.
No, it
it's
was.
lighthearted.
It's fairly stress-free. Even the heavy-duty part where Julie is in the captain's quarters with her parents, and then she gets called away, and then they lay the news of their divorce on the captain.
Well, that's some young lady you raised. My compliments. Is there something wrong?
Well, we have something to tell Julie, and it just couldn't be said on the phone or in a letter.
This isn't exactly a pleasure cruise. We came to tell her we're getting a divorce.
Michelle, I've mentioned music on the Love Boat and how much I enjoy the music, and I really, really do.
I wish there was an album of the lounge disco
Dude,
band.
Are you kidding? Because especially from this episode where they're dropping like rock disco when they walk in, it's like I don't even know what you would even call it, but it is like sort of a more aggressive disco that they're playing. And for some reason, Julie's dragging her parents there. I don't know why. And they're just like trying so hard to keep it together. They're looking for a moment to reveal this to her, and she's not making it easy because she's not aware. She's just happy that her parents are there.
Right, because she thinks they're going to celebrate their 30th anniversary.
Yeah. Then she goes to the band and asks if they will play a special song. It's their song. And at that point, the parents just can't keep up the facade anymore, and they drop the bomb on Julie.
Mom, Dad, what's the matter? I ask him to play your favorite song and you walk off the dance floor. Julie, dear, we have to talk to you, and we just can't do it here.
Let's not drag this out anymore. Your mother and I are getting a divorce.
What? You're not serious. I'm afraid we are. No. No.
Weren't you talking about our song?
No, I was talking about, back then, and there's a lot of things I was telling you that I see things all the time on like TikTok and stuff that are pretty funny of people saying, like, when they're on their deathbed, play that song I used to love, and it's just some sort of, like, insane, lascivious club tune. And I was just saying, like, what would, like, our song be? You know, they have this romantic song.
Well, I think I remember the name of their song. It was Love is a Many Splendor Thing.
And very similar, I think. Are you thinking the one that I'm thinking, you and I?
Probably.
Total Romance. Brings you back to the 90s. Yeah, it's like no one has anything like that anymore, I don't believe. Or maybe they do. Maybe they do. I'm not quite sure.
Maybe at your wedding, like your wedding song.
Yes. But Julie is handling it well, right?
No, she doesn't handle it well at all.
She completely
flips out.
Yeah, she falls apart. Julie. Poor Julie.
Why? Can you just tell me why? Look, honey, when you left home and there were no more children in the house, for the first time in 20 years, your father and I were alone together.
We found out that we didn't have as much in common as we thought.
But, Daddy, you love each other. We're comfortable with each other, but...
We felt that there was something more out there for both of us.
And whatever that something is, if we don't find it now, it's going to be gone forever. Can you understand that?
No, I can't understand that. I'll never understand that.
Lauren Tews, is that how you pronounce it? Tews? She's great. And I always find her not only just likable, but super believable on the show.
Mm-hmm.
I think that she handles all of this stuff. She's fantastic in this role. And her being upset feels very real to me. But I can only take so much of that. You know that. I'm very fragile.
Mm.
And thank goodness we get to see these two preteens. No, they're teens. They just entered their teens, 13 years old.
Right.
Maybe having their first crush with one another. And then they do something that's also great for people of our age. They throw in a Fonzie reference.
I don't know how the Fonz can do it.
Do what?
You know, kissing.
The Fonz does it?
Well, he's always talking about it. He must have done it.
You ever?
Are you weird?
The Fonz does it. Maybe it's worth, checking out.
You mean us? You're bananas.
It's awful. We can stop. What's the matter? You chicken?
No way.
Okay. Do you want to start?
Well, what's wrong with you starting?
Oh, brother. Okay, we'll do it together. Count to 3.
1, 2, 2.5, 2 3/4.
3.
I thought the way they did it was very cute.
It was. Yeah, so then they have like their first smackaroo. And it's really cute the way that they kind of are handling. And earlier in the show, Travolta, she kind of predicted it where like something changes or
a boy, when she likes a boy, she'll change.
And that really does happen with this Rocky character.
Making Ellen Travolta's predictions true, they're all gathered outside again, aren't they?
Yeah, they're down by like the outside pool area.
And Rocky comes down. She looks really cute. Her little sundress and her hair's all done up.
And this is very much not like her.
No.
At all. This is what she kind of has resisted most of the time. But she was making like this effort because she was starting to like this boy.
And all he could do was comment on her smelly perfume.
Yeah, he really was brutal.
He was.
He had no tact whatsoever. You know, not surprisingly, the poor kid is embarrassed and devastated and runs back upstairs.
But I did like the way her mom talked to her.
Oh, Rocky. You poor kid.
Being a girl is such a pain.
Normie didn't mean to say those things. He just expected his old buddy. Not a glamorous young woman.
I'm not glamorous. I look like a freak. Boy, I can't win. If I do the things I like to do, everybody yells at me to dress like a girl. And when I dress like a girl, I'm an object of ridicule.
We're very proud of you, Rocky. and the things you do so well. But sometimes we just forget to tell you. And we think you're beautiful, too. That's why we try to dress you up and put you on display. But what you've got, Rocky, the important qualities, they don't depend on what you look like. So you be yourself. Say what you think. And learn to be good at the things you like. Don't ever change, honey. No matter who tries, including your mother and father.
Thanks, Mom. But I didn't put the dress on for you.
You didn't.
I put it on for Normie.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's why, I mean, on a serious tip, it's why I thought The Love Boat was really great when we first started watching it. I'm like, they're handling these kind of really certain rites of passage, other difficulties, you know, parents going through divorce, all of that stuff. And I think that they handle them honestly really well. And in this case, this sort of situation, you were saying that you related to this character.
I did.
Yeah, so
Very much so.
Yeah, they did an awesome job. The mom was really great in the way that she was supportive of her daughter.
It was nice just to see two parents on the Love Boat, like not fighting at all, ever, throughout the whole thing. Totally on board with each other and supporting each other.
Yeah. Rod was concerned, too, that the wife, you know, had to make new friends, and it was just, you know, this whole uprooting.
She had her best friend.
You say that to me every day. That's why I was like, oh, my gosh, wow. You could have written this dialogue. Why are we laughing?
But on the
What?
darker side of romance,
Yes, John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band.
Julie's parents.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Julie takes a 360 at how she's going to approach this after speaking with her crewmate friends.
And here I was telling you guys they had the perfect marriage.
Any chance they'll change their minds?
I really don't think so.
I'm sure a lot of soul searching went into their decision.
Julie, sometimes a couple starts drifting apart, and the next thing you know, they've drifted so far they can't stop themselves.
Julie, you can't live their lives for them. You're just going to have to go along with whatever they want.
And if that's a divorce, maybe you should just try to make things easier for them.
You mean help them?
It's a tough time for them, Julie.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I should help them. Yeah. Thanks, guys. You've always been there when I needed you. Thanks.
Nice going, guys. We did it again.
Did what?
Yeah, she turns into like an evil genius all of a sudden. And it's not really the advice that they were giving, but that's
No.
how she took it. But good for her, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny just to show them how like single life was gonna be. I like the creepy guy she set her mom up with.
Dude, are you talking about the suave, silver, swinging single, salacious senior citizen looking for sex?
So gross.
It was the grossest when he comes like boogieing on up with his perfectly combed like silver hair. Oh my gosh, that is all that it would take to scare you back into your marriage.
Oh yeah.
This must be the single lady you've been telling me about. You weren't kidding. She is a knockout.
Martha, Joe. Joe, Martha. How do you do? Two's company, three's a drag.
Honey, do I have plans for us? A couple of drinks, stroll around the deck, and then, we're not kids anymore, my cabin or yours?
Those parts I love so much. I was disappointed that it wasn't our favorite character actor guy.
I wonder, will he speak at all, really, at one of these episodes?
We can only hope. I'm
I
going to
hope
make
so.
T-shirts for us with that guy's face on it. We can just wear
I
it.
love his shirt with his face on it. The one where he's at the bar, the profile.
He's the best. He's the greatest of all time.
And so this is weird. So she separated her parents and made them stay in different rooms. Like her mom stayed with her, and then her mom's like, "This is the first time I've never slept in a room with your dad." But if you were already talking about divorcing, wouldn't you already be sleeping in separate rooms? Why would you divorce and then sleep in the same bed and room together still?
I would think that you would have to sleep in a separate room simply because she's got that Lady Godiva hair that takes up like probably
that's insane.
half the bed. Like that's the reveal where she pops up because it's perfectly placed behind her. It's like, wow. She's like,
because I thought it was like a hairpiece before when she would have it like
no, Dody's
turned.
rocking the wig. She's got like Crystal Gale length hair.
But then when she wakes up, I was impressed with how long and it was real hair.
No, it's crazy. Well, these are pretty like clever ideas on Julie's part of separating them from one another and just crash course showing them what it's going to be like to be on their own, throwing these horny old men at her, and then throwing Norman Fell into like the den of sassy cougars. Yeah. And he's seeing right away like how off-putting they are. And like it's not going to be fun. It's going to be a nightmare trying to like
that lady seemed fun. She was at her second divorce.
Fun, I guess. But like that's not what you're looking for when you're Norman Fell. You know, you're looking for like a real relationship. You're looking for, you know, stability, love, companionship, not wild times. Those women were pretty good. They were fun.
They were fun.
And the way that they did all this, the way that they laid all this out was really good. Because, like, sort of the shots of them, Norman Fell looks like absolutely miserable during the whole thing.
Miserable the whole ship.
He really did.
I guess I'm a little confused about their move. Did they reveal to her about the move?
Okay. Well, it is all a little confusing. They kind of mash these things up, but it's done. I think it's cool that they do this, but it can be a little confusing. When the mom's having the heart-to-heart with her daughter, with Rocky, so the dad with his white shirt and his white shoes comes in, and he's like, there's someone here to see you. And then it's Norman, and I don't even remember how he did it, but like he starts talking about El Paso and where he lives, and that they have, hey, we got a crummy picture on our theme.
We're getting a skate park.
Yeah, we're gonna get a skate park, a couple slaloms. We're gonna have that picture whacked, and maybe you could pitch for us.
And she's like, I don't even live in El Paso. It's stupid. And he's like,
hey, El Paso ain't stupid, sweetheart. It's neat.
And then he informs her that you're moving, and she didn't even know that yet.
Oh, that's right.
And that they're going to live 2 blocks away from one another.
What a coincidence.
It's awesome.
I love a good Love Boat coincidence.
Well, as we've established, much like because it's a companion to the Fantasy Island, the boat is magic. It possesses magic, and that is why these things work out. That's why you get a ticket to go on this ship, because things work out for you. There's a magic involved on it. So she's not upset about moving now. She's excited about moving.
Right.
Because now she's going to be able to be around this boy, tells him about Mr. Sneedleman or whatever it was.
They really went into detail for her.
But they were cute together. They were really cute. I thought that I would love to hear if they got along. I'd like to think that they did, because it really did come across like they were getting along with one another.
Melissa Gilbert, if you're out there, let us know.
I'd like to speak to Baio.
Yeah.
That'd be the best.
Doesn't seem like, looking at his like background now, I don't think he does any kind of acting.
Yeah, I tried to look a little bit too, and it doesn't. Some people seem like they really did check out, or maybe they started to do something else.
Yeah, he could be doing other things.
Yeah, but those two then, that wraps up really, really nicely, because she is now looking forward to that, and that was their worry of
right.
Springing this news on her. But the other two, the other romance that's blossoming on this ship.
It's getting dicey or spicy or...
Well, this is where I think no.
No, because what had happened, right, is they have dinner together and he orders the cold duck.
Ah, that's right. And ladies and gentlemen, next show,
cold duck.
What is cold duck?
It's like I think it's just like a cheapish champagne.
Is it?
Or sparkling wine, or yeah.
All right, this episode, we hope that you guys are enjoying your Planner's Punch. So for next time, let's say cold duck or some sort of sparkling cider. Let's make it broad so there's lots of opportunities for it. Sparkling cider of some kind. No recipe needed for that. But yeah, those two went out to dinner. That's when, like Gopher said, like Mrs. So-and-so or whatever her name was, she's found a companion, and he says, poor guy. And that's when he realizes, because Julie says his name is Marion something, and he checked him in. He's
that's right.
Oh, no. And she's like, I don't see anyone complaining. So these two are just trying to curtail their what is it?
Passion.
Yeah, like their carnal desires because, they aren't married or anything like that, but it is tough. When you got a man as handsome as James Coco, you're going to have a hard time keeping your grubby paws off of him. They then, I think, retire to their rooms that night, right?
Yeah, but they're like kind of tipsy from their cold duck. So I don't know how they both get into their rooms without the other one.
But yeah, no, I don't know. I think like maybe like the night they fell asleep or something. They didn't even notice that the other was in the room.
I know, but how did they both arrive to get into their rooms without, you know what I'm saying?
No.
I guess maybe one went first and then
don't know.
Went passed out and then
they were hammered, man. So they didn't notice anything. They just passed out. And then in the morning she sees that he's there, and that's where she's really funny because she goes down on the floor like on her knees to cover herself, even though she had a full like house coat thing on. And then they realize that they had been roommates the whole time, and finally.
They take it to the next level.
Yeah, struck by passion, struck by love, struck by just, again, the magic of this situation.
The love boat.
He proposes, right?
Miss Selden!
Mr. Atkins, what is the meaning of this?
Selden, I thought that we agreed to resist temptation.
Mr. Atkins, I think you should go back to your own cabin.
Miss Selden, I am in my own cabin.
Don't be silly. This is my cabin.
Oh, no, look, Miss Selden, here's my key. Here's yours. Look, see? F13.
They made a mistake.
We've been roommates all this time.
What must people think?
Well, they probably think we're,
But we're not.
We could.
Oh, what?
We could.
Oh.
Miss Selden, will you marry me?
Oh, yes.
As soon as we dock, we'll find a justice of the peace.
Oh, what about tonight?
Tonight, huh? Tonight. We better wait.
Yes, let's.
What?
Holy cow!
And that is funny. And then they make their way out. This is them leaving after this, right?
Right.
And Michelle and I had a brief little conversation. This is really one of the only things I brought up. And I told her that I can't stand kissing of any kind on television or in movies, really. I don't care who it is. I don't care who's involved. I don't want to see two people kissing one another.
Nope.
But then I said there was one exception to the rule. And that exception is cartoony, overly passionate kissing.
That was like over the top comedic.
And these two did it so great when they're leaving the ship. That sort of like strong embrace of two people together, and then they their faces smash together. That makes me laugh. They made me laugh so hard when they did that.
What made me laugh during that scene more so was Doc and Gopher in the background watching them. Like when I look at their expressions, I was laughing out loud for
you
real.
guys.
Like it was so funny to me.
And Michelle, I have that filmed, and I'm gonna put that up again on Instagram because it made me smile and laugh so much. And yeah, their reactions is fantastic at the end. They were great. Those two as like comedic foils and sort of like the premise behind the two of them, I thought was super fun, super silly. And that again is my favorite stuff on The Love Boat. And I thought they both did it so well.
And the happiness keeps going.
Yes, because as Julie transforms into an evil genius, all of her plans work.
They did.
And towards the end, her parents didn't they go back to dance with one another? And then the song was played again?
Maybe.
And then that's when they have a conversation with each other.
Yes, you're right.
And I know why. Because another horny man came along. So another horny old man comes along and then asks her to dance because the mom gets annoyed with Julie.
Mom, why did you turn down that nice Joel Kirby? I thought I had a great match going between you two.
I just don't feel like dancing.
Oh, you mean with him? Well, who would you like to dance with? You name any man in the room and I'll get him over here for you. Mom, I thought you had this all figured out. This is what being single is all about. Isn't it what you expected?
I guess I didn't know what to expect.
I just wanted some freedom.
Freedom? Freedom to do what?
I don't know, Julie, I don't know.
Excuse me, would you like to dance?
Yes, I'd love to.
Yeah, so then after that, you know, she had been kind of pushed to the point of like sort of like breaking and realizing the folly of their decision. But then during that, when this other sexy senior comes along to like sweep her off her feet, they're on the dance floor. Norman Fell does another thing that we've seen one gajillion times on television shows where, may I cut in, you know? And Norman Fell starts to dance with her. Julie, like clockwork, has the band play their song, and she's watching with the captain by the piano.
How you doing?
Terrible. How about you?
Worse. This being single is too much like work.
Sure is.
I've been thinking maybe the effort would be better spent on a relationship which has already lasted almost 30 years. That's my roundabout way of saying I love you.
Bill, you can say it any way you want.
And the parents reconcile in kind of a really nice way.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really nice too.
It was.
And what he said was really smart. He's like, maybe it would be better to work on something that's lasted 30 years than go off looking for something else. And both of them seeing kind of what's out there was a bit of a shocker for them.
Wise words.
Yeah. So I thought that was really nice. And then you see how happy she is, and the captain compliments her.
But I was going to say, he kind of acts like her dad a lot of times on these episodes.
It's true. And he said that she's the best because he was really impressed with what she had pulled off and knew how hard that it was. Actually, I was kind of like emotional when she went and she was like hugging him and he was giving her a hug back because she was so upset.
Yeah.
Because he already knew about the parents and stuff. It was very, very...
That's what I mean. He's like a father figure to her.
Yeah. So then this one, across the board, wrapped up all of these so nicely, I thought. Before you know it, we're saying goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
And Colonel Flagg is like, let's round up the Munchkins. And they have like a last little moment together.
Well, I guess we better round up the Munchkins or we'll never make that plane.
Right. I'll write you every day.
I'll write twice a day.
Don't go crazy. Listen, at school we have this dance. You want to go?
Sure, I guess.
They make you wear a dress.
Yeah?
With that diaphanous one, okay?
Okay.
Normie, it's time to go, okay? Goodbye, honey.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Keeps getting less and less yucky.
I know.
Passionate kiss wrapped up onto their marriage.
Yeah, that one was fantastic. I love those two. And then the parents are leaving the ship with Julie.
Wrapped up nice and tidy once again on the love boat.
I can't speak for your mother, but I knew what you were up to all along, you sneaky kid.
Oh, that's me. I guess we both were hoping you'd do something to stop us.
Well, now wait, you two didn't get back together because of me.
Oh, no. We both just wanted some romance in our lives. And we found it here, together. You know, your dad is still a pretty exciting man.
So long, Billy boy. Well, maybe next time.
See, I'm not the only one who thinks so.
As I just stated, everything's wrapped up on the love boat. I will say it again, it was a good cleansing of the palate after the wackiness of the prior season opener.
I agree.
It was just a nice, calm...
It was nice to be back on the ship.
It was like really relaxing and just...
You and I are so weird. It's unreal. But I'm 100% true. I agree with you. Michelle?
Yes?
Will you meet me here for the next episode of The Love Boat?
You betcha.
And guys, I think what we have to look forward to is Bosley from Charlie's Angels.
Bosley.
But also, who are we looking at? Maybe a little Bono action?
Sonny Bono.
That's right. And a comical brother. I cannot remember what the plot line is, but I don't think we can go wrong with that either. So we hope you guys will join us then with your cold duck in hand.
I will have mine.
And we hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we did. As always, thanks you guys for listening. And until next time, I am Istvan.
I'm Michelle.
Captain Stubing, please come to the bridge.
And we are Lovin' the Love Boat.